Hey everyone, what's up? It's Vodka here again with another video. This time, it's just another video of me talking some of my thoughts about, this time about learning fighting games in general. So this has been on my mind for a little while to help the new players that are up and coming. I see a lot of players on Reddit asking questions about, hey, I'm not very good. How do I get better? Or they're just like complaining about the game. It's too hard. And generally not doing anything very helpful to actually help themselves improve in the game. So I want to address this number one point that I've come up with in order to help these players get better at the game. So what I want to talk about today is actually mastering your ego. So ego, I feel like, is a big deterrent of a lot of players and getting better and improving, and not just beginning players but also maybe more advanced players. And generally everybody has an ego and thinks, I should be this, I should be that, I should be better than my opponent. So when you're actually playing the fighting game, you're fighting more than just the opponent themselves. What I think is you're actually fighting two people. You're fighting yourself and you're fighting the opponent. And what I mean by you're fighting yourself is just that you're actually fighting your own ego. So as the game is progressing, things may be happening. You may be angry that certain things didn't turn out the way you did. Maybe your opponent isn't playing the way that you think they should be playing. And then maybe you lose and you're like, oh yeah, he stinks. Why did I lose to that? I lost because of so-and-so excuses. Not because of actually what's happening in the game, but I think it's actually your own ego that's getting in the way of yourself improving. And a lot of people have a lot of problems getting over this hurdle. I feel like they make a lot of excuses and therefore it really hampers their learning. So as I said, it's not just beginners that have issues with their ego, but I tend to see a lot of people that don't understand the games come in the beginning having some sort of expectation with the game. And again, it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. They don't really know what they don't know. So when they lose, their ego gets in the way, and then they're making excuses. Or maybe it's a dumb game, or maybe there's some other issue with it, or my opponent is just doing things that are really dumb that I feel, when in fact they actually don't know how the game actually should be worked. So it takes time to learn, and to learn what you actually don't know. So how do you get over that? You want to develop self-awareness. It's just a little story of me trying to learn CVS2, and it's been about 4 years, maybe a little more, of me trying to learn this game, and it is a very hard game to learn. And I see people trying to get in, and there's a big learning curve and just a lot of knowledge checks with the game. And in the beginning, I was getting, of course, very frustrated, and online, of course, didn't help, because online it's not the ideal way of playing the game. So a lot of people abuse the online tactics, and I know they're abusing it, except I don't know the game enough in order to counter it. And I'm getting hit by things I feel like I shouldn't be getting hit, so of course I'm getting angry. But CVS2 is the only game that I feel like I actually get angry over of all the games, and every time that happens I have to remind myself to keep my ego in check and saying it's okay, I don't know certain things about the game, and I'm getting hit by things, and it's fine until I'm able to adjust and internalize the game and learn how to beat it. So I also have to tell myself that and realize when it's happening, realize when my adrenaline is going up and I'm just getting irritated. And another thing that you can do is just to be okay with the losses. I played Super Turbo and I used Zangief. He's not a very good character in the game, and I always tell people this. When I first started playing the game, I was constantly losing with him. He's not a good character, and you have to really understand the game before you can actually start winning with him. And I lost, I want to say for a year straight without winning much, and I was, I stuck with it. So I had to be okay with it in order to actually learn and get better. And eventually I did get better and I started winning. But it took a long time, and you actually just have to be okay with it. Realize that is actually part of the learning process. So you may realize that you're getting a little irritated and you're getting really salty about the game. So what can you do about it? What I would do is sometimes I would just step away from the game. I think a lot of times it's good just to, instead of queuing up for the next match, maybe it's good just to take a little deep breath and just take a break from it. And that'll give your brain a little bit time to reset. And then when you're calmer, you're able to think about the problems rationally, think about what happened in the match without your emotions getting in the way, your ego getting in the way. So then you can take the time to actually improve and maybe go back into the lab and lab out the situations that you may be having problems with. And that's typically my method of trying to learn, trying to improve. So the next time it happens, if I'm able to react to the situation that I lost before, then I can see that I've actually was prepared for it. And so that's how you kind of slowly improve in this process. Then just take a little time to enjoy the process, right? Just enjoy these little improvements, and then you'll start feeling better about yourself, about the game. And don't worry about if you win or lose or not. Just think about the situations, right? If you make a right decision in the right situation, then that in itself, it is an improvement. And eventually you get enough of that and you'll start winning the games. So don't worry about winning the games, worry about the little improvements that you can do. So as I have said from the last video, it's actually about the journey and not about the destination. So do everything you can to try to make the journey a little more enjoyable for yourself, because fighting games is enjoyable when you see yourself getting better at the games. You see yourself winning, making the right calls, executing correctly. It is a very enjoyable process. It's just like learning anything. When you get better at it, you start to enjoy it more. So, but there is the learning curve in the beginning, there is the struggling, and they're still struggling even later stages of the game. It's not like you'll never struggle. You'll always struggle with, it's a difficult process, and just be okay with that and just enjoy this process as something that of self-improvement, I would like to say. So on the last note, what I want to mention is, as you can see, there's a lot of examples of people, when you play people online, you can see a lot of examples of people of obviously their ego is clearly getting in the way of their progression. And this has actually kind of sparked my reasoning for making this video. This guy on the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 for CVS, his name is Obito, and he is notorious for just rage quitting immediately if he feels like he's losing or you're better than him, right? So I don't know what this guy's thinking. I'm assuming it just doesn't want to play anybody better than him, thinking that, if I'm going to play the game, I only want to play people that I can beat. So his ego is clearly getting in his way, and he's not a good player. He's as you saw from a previous Justin Wong video trying to teach J.M. Crofts how to play the game. J.M. Crofts, very new to the game, somehow matches up with this guy, plays him, beats him, and the guy immediately disconnects. So a new player is even able to beat him. I just want to show you here real quick. So this is the guy, as you can see, immediately disconnecting. I mean, I see this all the time. I normally don't even play him, but this time he's always online as well. So always queues up against this guy. So I normally don't play him. I was like, fine, I'll play him just to see what happens. See if he disconnects again, and obviously he disconnected. Yeah, you see Kenny here, he got dizzy. He was about to die. He's about to lose his character to my first character, and then he just disconnects. It's pretty funny, actually. And look here. This guy actually, look, he is a Grandmaster. This guy is a Grandmaster in CVS 2. He has 41,000 points. You don't lose points for losing. You just keep getting points. So I guess this guy's strategy is just that, I don't want to waste my time with people that beat me because I'm not going to get any points. So I'm just going to quit those games immediately and just play people I can get points off of. So I can farm my points so I can get to Grandmaster. So it's pretty absurd. Obviously, this is a clear example of how not to behave, and if you can, try to not to be like this guy. And if this guy sees the video, hopefully he can do a little bit of self-introspection, not to ask himself why he's the way he is, and maybe change for the better. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and hope you learned something from it, take something away. And if you enjoyed these types of videos, I'll probably try to make more of these videos as ideas comes to me to help the newer players or whoever wants some ideas on how to learn these fighting games. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe and like my channel. See you later.